Around 1000 BC, the Zhou dynasty emerged as the dominant power in China. However, their control over the region weakened over the centuries. By the 5th century BC, China was in the Warring States period, a time in which small states fought one another to gain power and influence. Initially, there were a lot of small states, but over time they were conquered by their stronger neighbours. So, by the 3rd century BC, 7 states remained: Han, Qi, Zhao, Yan, Wei, Chu, and Jin. Power fluctuated between the states, however the Qing emerged as the strongest, despite initially just remaining on the periphery of the conflict and avoiding fights with their stronger neighbours. Their fortunes began to change under the leadership of Duke Zhao, who ruled the Qing in the mid-4th century BC. He encouraged intellectuals from neighbouring states to improve his nation, notably Shangyang. After decades of small conflicts, they eventually took the position as the strongest military power in 260 BC, when they devastated the armies of Zhou in a brutal 2-year military campaign. 22 years later, in 238 BC, Yingzhong became the king of Qing. He put into practice a strategy to unite the states of China, ally with Qi and Yan, hold down Wei and Chu, and conquer Han and Zhao. In 236 BC, war broke out between Zhao and Yan. The Qing took advantage of the Zhao's weakened state and conquered 9 of their cities. The Zhao army stopped them from going any further. The Qing tried twice more to conquer Zhao, however they were unable to break through. In 230 BC, the Qing changed tactics and targeted Han, a state crippled after years of conflicts. They sent an army into their capital and quickly forced King An of Han to surrender all of his state to the Qing. Around the same time, the Zhao was hit by an earthquake and a drought. However, before invading, the Qing needed to get rid of their great general, Li Mu. So they bribed Zhao officials to sow discontent in the court, and eventually Li Mu was executed. Now, in 228 BC, the Qing army under General Wang Jian was free to conquer Zhao. A prince of Zhao fled the region and established a new state called Dai on the border with Yan. Now, other states grew worried about the Qing. Crown Prince Dan of Yan sent assassins to kill Yingzhong. However, the dagger, which the assassins carried in a map case, was discovered and both assassins were killed. In response, Zhong ordered Wang Jiang to take his armies into Yan. They crushed the armies of Yan, captured Ji, modern-day Beijing, and forced the king to retreat to the Liaodong Peninsula. Zhong then turned his attention south. In 225 BC, General Wang Ben, Wang Jian's son, led an army which numbered around 600,000 and lay siege to the capital of Wei. They built canals to redirect the waters of the Yellow River to flood the city. The same year, they invaded Chu, but it ended in failure. A new invasion force under Wang Jian, who was brought back from retirement, marched into Chu 2 years later, crushed the Chu in battle, and took the capital city. Fu Chu, the king of Chu, was captured and his state was annexed by the Qing. In 222 BC, they finally attacked the king of Yan's forces in the Liaodong Peninsula and took him prisoner. And in the same year, they easily conquered the small state of Dai. The only state left was Qi. They had kept out of the conflict thus far because their prime minister had been bribed by the Qing and helped dissuade their king from fighting. But now they panicked and sent their poorly trained forces to the western border. General Wang Ben simply moved his troops through the northern borders and captured the capital city in 221 BC after very little resistance. China was now unified. King Zhong was proclaimed Emperor Qing Shui Huang, and his brutal reign lasted for 10 years. To centralize China, he divided it up into 36 commanderies, ordered the construction of roads and canals, connected the walls on the northern frontier, standardized writing and the units of measure, and even expanded the borders of China south. However, soon after he died, rebellions forced the repressive Qings out of power, and the country was divided into 18 kingdoms. A 4-year conflict erupted between rebel leaders Zhang Yu of Chu and Liu Bang of Han. The Han won and the Han dynasty ruled for 4 centuries. But even after the demise of the Han in 207 AD, China was once again broken up into separate kingdoms until the rise of the Jin dynasty.